I'm Kevin Davis. Thanks for joining another episode of the Catholic Family Podcast. We got a really special episode today, a very unique one, which I'm excited about. And it's as live as you're going to get in terms of, it's a live stream and we have to upload it to YouTube and whatnot. But it's actually, we're talking to a couple of guys who are doing a long trek through Minnesota. And they're literally walking right now. Now, we're going to talk about why they're doing that, who's doing it, and whatnot. But before we do, I just want to, say exactly why I wanted to have them on before they even explain what it is. And we've talked a little bit in podcasts in the past about, I guess, manliness and even what it means to be a knight. In a previous episode, we talked about the code of chivalry. And part of that is taking care of those who need to be taken care of. If it's the widows, the children, or in this case, veterans who are in need of any help to come back from war, from service, and these people who spend their lives giving to our country. And this project, and I'm joined by my brother Paul, he's going to talk about this project, which helps to take care of those who have helped to take care of us. So Paul is joining me on the road. The connection may not be great as we go because they are literally walking. Paul, thanks for joining, and maybe tell me a little bit about what's going on here.
Yeah, thanks. So we are 100-mile for Project Got Your Back, which is a nonprofit designed to, just what you said, help veterans.
And so 100 miles, I have to say, I did a pilgrimage a couple of weeks ago that was 60 kilometers or so, which I think ends up being about maybe 40 miles. And so 100 miles makes my feet hurt just thinking about it. So you guys are in your second day, right?
Second day, yeah. We finished. So we started yesterday before the sun came up, and then after the sun went down, and we are off this morning.
Wow. So what time is it right now in Arizona, in Minnesota?
About noon? A little after noon, I think.
Got it. And so, Paul, give me a little background real quickly on yourself before we get into what Project Got Your Back is all about.
Sure. Yeah. So, Marine captain for about 9 years, got out in 2018, moved up here to Minnesota with my wife, Nicole, and my kids, and started working with Project Got Your Back in 2019 as a board member, and then in 2020, started in 2020, and then by Christmas time or so, had transitioned to the chairman, and then we've been working on a few initiatives with Project Got Your Back that were different than what we were doing before, so a little more hands-on now. As you can
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Paul, but as you say, a little more hands-on, or literally the feet hitting the pavement for Project Got Your Back. So what is Project Got Your Back, Paul, in a brief summary?
Yeah, so really what we do is we connect veterans with resources and resources to veterans. Really, there's a huge gap out there between veterans who have no idea that there are so many resources, big and small. You got PTSD, you got the homelessness type of resources. You also got resources like freeways from different places that are looking to help veterans as part of their way of giving back to the community. And most vets just have no idea that exists. And then on the contrary side, the biggest problem for these different organizations out there is, ironically, finding vets to help. So what we're doing is trying to bridge that gap, connect the two, and we do that through a navigator program where we connect veteran clients to train and certified navigators for 12 months, where they become battle buddies and work on getting connected to all these different places.
And is that local, or is that statewide, or is that national? How big is this?
Yeah, so right now we're statewide in Minnesota, with aspirations of getting bigger one day. But that's where we are now.
And so what is this 100-mile trek you're doing now? What does that have to do with Project Got Your Back?
Well, so it's serves a couple purposes, really. The biggest problem that we have right now is the same problem that other organizations have, and it's finding veterans to help. And there's this unwarranted stigma out there of not asking or seeking out help, even if might not even be help. It's just like free, stuff like that. And this Ruck is trying to raise awareness for that, and at the same time raise funds so we can keep our services 100% free forever for all of our clients and navigators.
And so you guys are doing a 100-mile ruck. What does that mean exactly?
That's 100 miles of stock. I think is what it boils down to. But
wait.
No,
can you say, wait, stop. You broke out there. Can you say it again? What is a 100-mile ruck? Start over.
Yeah, so 100-mile is really walking for 100 miles. And we got boots and the about 60 of them got a big billboard sign, and we got an American flag that we're carrying with us.
And so what all are you carrying again? You're breaking up a little bit as we go. What are you carrying for this 100 miles? American flag?
Yeah, American flag, a big billboard sign, and then about 60-pound packs.
60-pound packs. All right. Wow. And so have you gotten much attention as you've walked along? Are you walking around along highways? Are you walking along back roads? Where are you?
Yeah, so we were commenting on that yesterday. To get here, we had to go down a bunch of highways and county line roads, and we got a tremendous amount of support and people stopping to wave and honk and shake our hands and giving us free stuff at gas stations. And it was really humbling to see how many people that it seemed like we, in some way impacted and touched yesterday.
That's awesome. That's really cool to hear. And I think that's something that I think there are a lot of people who listen to this show from across the world, and I think that's something that's fairly uniquely American. That sense of pride in the military and patriotism, and it's not only American, but I think it's fairly uniquely American. I think that's a pretty neat thing to hear that still exists and that people still really appreciate. At least in the heartland of America, in Minnesota. Maybe that's not the case everywhere, but in Minnesota, you still get some support, and that's really cool to hear. And so,
yeah,
Paul,
I can tell you.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh no, yeah, I was just going to say that the feeling of patriotism is alive and well in small town America. We can all vouch for that.
That's awesome. Honestly, that's honestly great to hear, because as I'm sure you know, most of what people see from America, at least over here, is mayhem and nightmarish, because that's what pays. That's what pays for the media. They pay for bad news pretty much. And so unfortunately, we don't get a lot of good media about the U.S., especially when Trump was president. But I think that there's so much there, and America, that Midland America, you would be hard pressed around the world to find better people, and people who really are so down to earth and salt of the earth, people who really care about others. And that's if anyone ever goes to America from Europe or Australia or anywhere else, I highly suggest that you go to the heartland of America and not just California or New York, because you'll get a very different experience. And so, Paul, you're traveling with a couple guys today. Who are you with? It's not just you. I know you're with 2 or 3 other guys, right?
Yeah. So I'm with my battle buddies, Rick Steffes and Evan Workman, and I'm really glad they're here because they're making this a lot easier on me.
So are they helping carry your workload a little bit here, or
Well, no, I'm carrying my own pack. If that's what you're asking.
Okay. So more moral support, huh? Not the Samwise Gamgee to your Frodo, huh?
No. This is very much a fully team effort.
Nice, cool. Well, I think if I remember right, I think I met Rick way back in the day. Is that right?
Yeah, Rick and I go way back to
California,
TBS.
Right? Pendleton. Nice.
And then California. That's probably where you met him. Yep.
I think so. I think we played volleyball together once.
Yep.
If you want to put on Rick, and we'll have a quick chat about who he is and why he's doing this 100-mile ruck for Project Got Your Back. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you bet. Here is Rick Steffes. Yeah.
I think Rick is putting on Paul's headphones now, so that's the bit of a break here. Rick, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm doing really well. I was telling Paul, I vaguely remember playing volleyball with you back in the Camp Pendleton days. So,
oh yeah,
it's been a minute, but
a quick minute for sure.
And so Rick, how are you feeling today in your second day of the 100-mile ruck?
Well, 31 miles yesterday was probably the most I've done.
Okay.
And, definitely feeling a little bit today. So
only a little bit. Well, then you're doing all right.
Yeah, just got to work the kinks out and keep moving.
Hey, there you go. Right. So, do you still feel your feet, or?
Oh yeah, they're still there, still attached.
All right. Well, if you can still feel them, I guess that's the first thing. So Rick, I'd love to hear a little bit about your story. Your story in the Marines and why you're here with Paul for Project Got Your Back.
Okay. Well, joined the Marine Corps back in 2009. Got commissioned as an officer. Served 4 years active duty, 4 years in reserves. Had one deployment over to Afghanistan. And that's kind of the basics of it. But anyway, to be involved in Project Got Your Back, Paul reached out to me about a little less than a year ago to see if it'd be something I'd be interested in, trying to serve vets and help them out. And I said, absolutely, sign me up. I'm all about it. So.
And so, what are you up to? What are you up to now, Rick? After you left the Marine Corps, or I guess you can never officially leave the Marine Corps, but once you got out, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been working at a power generating station in a little small town, Iowa. So. That's,
okay.
Kind of occupation.
Little small town Iowa. Nice.
Yep. Down by Sioux City, Iowa.
Okay.
So
beautiful country. Beautiful. I was telling Paul that the people that listen to this show from around Europe, they usually go to America and travel to California or New York. But the real places, if you really want to see America, go to Minnesota and Iowa and Kansas and Nebraska. That's where real America is, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's the heartland. It's totally. It's something. It's a sight to see.
And so, Rick, what's been your experience? Have you had any positive or negative experiences as a veteran, or what's been your experience? I guess, in Afghanistan, coming back from Afghanistan, has that been positive in general?
Oh yeah, in general, I'd say there's a positive aspect there. Coming back, we took some commercial flyers back when we flew back over. And some people were there to greet you as you came off the plane. It was pretty amazing. Just random people, you don't know. They just showed up there to congratulate you for coming back, shake your hand, that sort of thing. So, and and since then, just being in the Midwest, you see it every day. As soon as somebody finds out you're a veteran, they're instantly willing to shake your hand and wish you well in life and everything else like that.
That's fantastic. And it seems like that's a good situation for Paul and for this project to get things rolling, and that's why I want to do this podcast for my listeners to go and support. We'll talk with Paul again later about how you can support Project Got Your Back, but I think many people probably do want to do more than just a handshake. They want to support the veterans even more than maybe a burger at a McDonald's or whatever. So stay tuned for how you can do that. Anyone listening, we'll talk about that with Paul here in a bit. Rick, I think you're along with Evan. Is that right?
That's correct. You got
All
Evan right here in front of me.
Yeah, why don't you pass me on over to Evan, and we'll get a little bit of Evan's story, why he's here, his experience as a Marine, and how he feels in his second day of the 100-mile ruck for Project Got Your Back. Rick, it's been very nice talking to you, and all the best on this this crazy walk you guys are doing, and obviously in the future as well.
How's it going, Kevin? This is Evan.
Evan, thanks for joining. It's going great. Thank you. I guess I'll ask you the question too. Can you still feel your feet?
I can feel them. I definitely can feel them. There's a little bit of hurt, but we're doing good.
All right, nice. And so, as Paul said, you're carrying 60 pounds or so on your back, an American flag, and a sign. And I guess, before we say much more, I mean, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your service, and why you're part of Project Got Your Back?
Yeah, 100%. So I was in the United States Navy. I did that for about 10 years, enlisted. I actually recently got out of the reserves here September 11th. So after that, after my active service, I went and got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and now I'm moving on to graduate school to go study medicine. But how I got affiliated with Project Got Your Back is actually I moved back to Minnesota about a year ago, and a mutual friend put me in contact with Paul, or during the time I was working for a networking company. And then we kind of got involved with developing curriculum for the Navigator program and kind of piecing everything together to get it operational. So that's kind of how I got into Project Got Your Back. And when he gave me a call for this, or when he posted basically about this 100-mile ruck, I was like, I got to take part in this. This is big time, not just for our own community, but I think as a nation, just stepping up and leading from the front.
That's awesome. And as I told Paul, I've done these podcasts before talking about that exact thing, that if we want to change anything, this isn't a new saying, but if we want something to be changed, we've got to be the ones who do it, and we've got to stand up and be manly, be tough, and do these things to get awareness for all these different projects. Of course, supporting veterans is a huge one, and so I guess if you're sounds like you're very hands-on for Project Got Your Back. How did you see it having a big future? Is it something you can imagine being something that could go international in the future, or at least at a statewide level if you get these things ironed out?
In the state of Minnesota, I truly do believe that. I came back to Minnesota and started working for this networking company, and I had no idea how many veteran organizations were actually here. Because kind of like all these veteran organizations were living in camouflage, but it was hard to reach out to these vets. So with Project Got Your Back, it's basically, like Paul was saying earlier, kind of bridging that gap. And having these navigators can guide these veterans to that higher echelon of care, which we really need. So it's really connecting everyone within the community, growing everyone's personal networks, and just heart, body, mind.
And is that something that people can help otherwise besides just monetarily, which again, we'll talk about that in a minute, how people can support Project Got Your Back and this 100-mile ruck. How can is there a way people can support this by, I don't know, sharing or liking something on social media, or how can people help spread the word a little bit about this to maybe veterans they know in Minnesota?
Yeah, so we have a Facebook, Project Got Your Back. Also, the website is www.projectgotyourback.org. You can go on there and basically you'll go through an application process where we'll link you up with a navigator and get you on the right track.
Perfect. And so a navigator, when you say navigator, is that literally a person who's on the other side helping you step by step and helping you connect with things that you might need?
Yep, it is. It's so we pick from veterans can be navigators.
Okay.
So we take a veteran, train them up. They get to understand all the different resources that we have currently. And then we can kind of talk to that person, see where they're at in their life or what they want to do, what their goals are, and push them to that next resource.
Perfect. It sounds great. Evan. It sounds like a really great project. It's awesome to hear from you guys. I wish you all the best on the rest of your 100-mile ruck, and thank you for your service. I missed saying that to Rick. Thank Rick also for his service. If you could hand me back over to Paul, we'll talk quickly about how people can directly support this Ruck, as well as Project Got Your Back, help out Evan, Rick, and Paul on their long march through Minnesota. And you get a shout out from them on a live stream if you give a couple bucks. And you can also help, as you hear, connect veterans with other veterans who can help them, move forward with any different things they might need. I think it's a fantastic project. And Evan, again, thank you very much for what you do.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate your time.
Hey.
All right, we got Paul back. Paul, thanks for sending us over to Rick and Evan. Definitely interesting to hear from both of them. Different experiences in the Marines and the Navy. Evan in the Navy. I think I said when I introduced him, I think I said he was in the Marines. My apologies. He was in the Navy. And Paul, so I guess we'll end by asking you how people
That's
can.
Okay, you upgraded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe you say that with him close by, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, he's right next to me.
All right. And so, Paul, how can people support this? I mean, I think that Evan did a good job of explaining how it works, how Project Got Your Back, gets veterans connected with other veterans to literally help them find stuff. So give me an example of what a veteran might be helped with. What are these agents, or I forget the word, what are they helping these veterans with?
Yeah, so navigators is the word you're searching for.
Thank you.
Yeah, and really it's so we take on the everything approach, which means that there's really nothing we don't cover, and which seems too broad, of course, but that's because there are so many organizations inside and outside the VA that really do cover every part of holistic well-being, financially, mentally, spiritually, etc. So, one of the big things that we help our current clients with is employment. I'd say that is our number one issue that we help with right now. And there's a lot of different, not just organizations who are very veteran friendly that we are connected with, but there's also groups who specifically go out almost always pro bono and try to help veterans get hired. And we're connected with them too. So a veteran looking for a job, whether it's their first job or a new job, can get in touch with the navigator, and then the navigator puts them in touch with one of these companies or organizations.
Got it. And so if someone from, I don't know, Iowa hears this podcast, for example, and thinks, wow, that sounds great, could a navigator or could Project Got Your Back help them, or is it strictly in Minnesota right now, currently?
So the only reason that we're a Minnesota-based nonprofit, that's because that's where our resources are. But that's not to say we can't help people outside of Minnesota. It'll be a little bit more difficult. You have more of a drive to take advantage of a lot of this stuff. But there's many organizations that go across state lines too that we can also get them in touch with. Got it. Good to know.
Perfect. Well, Paul, tell us how. First of all, okay, where do you end? It sounded like you guys had a pretty fun end to your crazy 100-mile ruck.
Yeah, the best place possible, brewery.
Nice.
It's called Loose Line Brewery in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Loose Line Brewery in Plymouth, Minnesota. Perfect. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't be there. I would love to be there, and it's a bit of a trip for me from Germany here. Otherwise, I will raise a beer for you guys on Sunday in solidarity and in spirit. And otherwise, how can people monetarily support Project Got Your Back and even currently with this 100-mile ruck?
Yeah, so there's a donate button and function on our website, pgyb.org. That's always available. And then for the next couple of days, you can also go to pgyb.org and you'll see the link for this ruck. And that will take you to a separate website where you can make a pledge by mile or just make a straight pledge, which would be $25, $50, $100, whatever it may be. And that will go straight to us, and we can put it straight to use in the program.
And so last question, Paul, why should someone donate to this cause?
Well, I'd say one of the biggest reasons is because it is extremely important for us to keep it, the program completely 100% free. So to do that, we rely on a couple different funding sources, and the generosity of others is our number one, and it works. So, yeah, if you're looking to help veterans, veterans are people too. You know, they've got a few unique things about them, of course, but this is a great way to do it.
Well, and it's a nice thing, and I have to say, obviously, that I think many people have issues sometimes giving money to charitable organizations because they don't know where the money's going. They don't know how many fingers it goes through before it gets to the people who actually need it. Obviously, for anyone listening to this, you can know very well that any money that's donated is going to go completely to veterans. You know, Paul's not going to be going and buying a Porsche anytime soon, right, Paul?
No Porsches for me, not in the near future anyway.
Right. So we can trust Paul, we can trust this organization, and we can definitely do our best in supporting those who have gone and given a lot of themselves to protect us as Americans, but also the world. And I think that everyone around the world appreciates those who've given their time, their body, their sweat, their tears, and their blood to protect us, protect the innocent. And so please donate your money. Go and share this project to your friends. If you know any veterans, share it with them too. I mean, make sure we get the word out so that these guys who are really doing their best to promote a good project and spending their time to try to help others, let's try to help them to help others as well. Paul and Rick and Evan, all the best of luck on the rest of your trip. We will say a prayer that you guys make it there, okay? And again, we will raise a beer with you at the end.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. God bless.